All right. We are back with another episode of Dao Talks. I'm your host, Sam. We're here with Shifu Zhou Xuan Yun, Daoist priest from Wudang Mountain. So today on the show, we are going to talk about what is Daoism. So Daoism for me, as an acupuncturist and somebody who practices martial arts, I hear a lot about Daoism, and obviously, Shifu, I've known a lot from you. But prior to that, in the West, I really only had gotten an idea of what Daoism was or could be from picking up books at the store, like the Dao De Jing or Zhuangzi, and also just kind of folklore. You know, you hear these stories of Daoist masters. The first time I ever saw Wudang Mountain was actually in The Karate Kid 2 with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan. So I remember looking it up, and I was like, oh my God, this place looks magical. Like, what is this place? And I had no idea because we don't hear a lot about that. But Wudang is obviously a very sacred mountain, and it's where you trained and practiced for a very long time. So I want to ask you today, what from your perspective as a Daoist priest, like, what is Daoism? Like, what does it mean to you?
In West, a lot of people, they're reading Dao Jing, they think, the Dao Jing is Daoism. Or then someone thinking the Buddha, kind of Daoism like a Buddha, influence that. Like maybe, I don't know, influence on other people or influence some just reading few books, like, okay, this is Daoism. Even in China, a lot of people, they don't know what is Daoism, what is Buddhist, like everybody is, Daoism, Buddhist, everything just like, go the temple, just for the, not like they want to something, just, just this is God, we just respect, or like burn the incense, give a good have a good luck, just like that. A lot of people think like that, Obviously, the Daoism is real traditional Chinese culture, all the culture, everything in the Daoism. If you want to know want to know Chinese culture, the deeply you have to know Daoism or research, or reading the Daoist book. Then you know the Daoist, what the Chinese culture is. We're talking about the Daoist, all the religion, all the religion where from. All the religion is from the traditional. We say the traditional culture. It's a nation's culture. It's different. In China have different nation's culture. Also, where from? It's from. A lot of people say it's shaman, like a Wu, Chinese called Wu or Xi shaman. A lot of people absolutely. It's with shaman. What's different? Because one is the government or the emperor. Someone said, okay, it's religion, it's good. Okay, it's not good. They're not like, you're shaman. But always same in the past. There's sometimes the idea different. But the Daoism in the past is if someone reading the Daoist book, like Huangdi Neijing, everybody know the Huangdi. The Huangdi is the big Daoism, big Daoist. He organized, he learned a lot of stuff from the shaman in the past. In the past, we not have a Daoist. Some people like practice, not like practice themselves. Living in the mountain, then watch the star, look at the world, what happened, and practice the on a scale like that. They're not really, because it's kind of like a knowledge about the world, everything. It's just like, whoever the world, they not really care about a lot because they under the world too much, understand the human, understand all the natural, everything. They really, really like, we call it like a knowledge or everything. So, but the Huangdi, he want to, make the country more nice. He wanted to go to the different mountain, ask a different, like a master, like a shaman, like a different, people. It's a knowledge about the medical, like Chinese herbal medicine. Someone knowledge about the health, how to practice body. Someone is know how to help the emperor to order the country. give the suggestion like a teacher. I just go round the all China. Find the knowledge people. Then I bring everything together. It's the beginning. The Daoism where the from. Yeah. Also, of course, Daoism passed. Then after that, in the like a governor, they have a lot of branch. Like the governor have a lot of branch. Some like scientists, like different stuff. In the past, the country, the governor also have like one branch. It's belong to Daoism. What's the Daoism doing? They let Daoist doing. They give them the money. They build a temple on the mountain. Then they look at the star, look at the cloud, look at the different stuff. Then like a fortune, they see the world what happen in future, and what kind of disaster, a lot of, like a fortune. Oh, maybe next year have a disaster. Next year what happen what stuff will happen. Then they come back and give the emperor's suggestion. Also they have another job. What did they do? I just okay, I hope that for this part, it's not like we how to do every year. They have like a few times, have a big ceremony like for the god, okay, thank you for the god, thank you for the, I don't know how to say, like a ceremony, do the stuff, do the big event. The priest do the stuff. Yeah, they have a lot of different priests. They have a lot of different kind of job. They just one. Of course, they do fortune telling. They do medical research, research with human's body. What happens human body? I want to, also help the emperor. The make like internal alchemy. They also make another alchemy. Like hope. For the emperor, like the some like the rich people or the government. Someone have power. Then I research how to good for them. They can eat it, like the medicine, how to good protect you, protect the country, protect the body for health, protect the country for health. I'll give the suggestion, we all can like make different medicine for body, good suggestion for government, how to hold the country. That's a Daoist job in the past.
Yeah.
That's a way in Daoist we call. Okay, that's a way called the Daoist. We call the 10道91. What kind of 10道91? 10 priests have 9 priests know the medicine, know the doctor, know how to be healing people. Because this Daoist, what did they do? They just do the job. It's their job. Make how to keep a body health, how to research the different herbs, good for human's body, keep their health, be immortal. That's the job. That's the part. Of course, after the priest also they know do the kung fu, do chanting, they do a lot of different stuff. It's have a lot of different job. All the job is a service for the world, service for people, help people, like that.
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. That aligns a lot with what I've heard about, because so much of acupuncture and Chinese medicine is attributed to Daoists from long ago. People who would actually test these herbs and go and chew on 10,000 herbs in the forest and figure out which ones how they could use for healing, how they could use for poison, and things like that. And it seems like, and tell me if I'm wrong, Shifu, it seems like some of these times Daoists are always throughout history. Daoists are always being of service to the country, to people that come to visit the temple. Yeah. If somebody wants help, it seems like the Daoists will help them. But there are also times when it seems that the emperors would, instead of the Daoists going to the emperors, because it doesn't seem like the Daoists really cared much about the fame or the name of being helpful. The emperors would actively try to search out the Daoists. Is that correct?
Yeah, the search they learn from Daoist, the emperor. they want to learn. Also, it's kind of like use the Daoism to, help the emperor. Also, the emperor, give the suggestion, give the idea, or teach them. That's in the past, a lot of Daoism called they give the Daoist kind of like, not like a name, kind of like, Chinese called 国师. What's 国师? The country's teacher. The teacher also always have a Daoist, very high position to teach the emperor, like teach someone something like that. It's always like a 求主机 at a Roman 求主机. Have another, I think Liu Bowen also a lot of past, a lot of priests, the emperor or the king, very love it. Oh, he's the 国师, the country's teacher. I give him the name. I just want to add a little bit, also the Daoism name. Always they have a different idea. As they have a lot of different kind of Daoism. I have a Zheng Yi or Quanzhen. Everyone know that. If someone research Daoism, I know this different part. Where they come from, of course, like always we are not human. What do human do? Always adapt everything. Adapt the culture, adapt everything, adapt the stuff. What's adapt? Always, oh, look at that's good, I take this, oh, to me. Okay, I keep that, take this. That's why they have a lot, always the priest, master, different priest, different branch. Because always the idea is different. The bring different stuff go there and make up another school or another style. Yeah. As a priest is the same. Yeah. Like after we talking about before, we talking about the Zheng Yi. The Zheng Yi, a lot of people also think, another part is a lot of people think the Daoist is supposed to not married, supposed to not care about the politics. It's no. The Daoist in the past is very good about the politics because they give the emperors idea and suggestion. Lot of idea, suggestion. And the Daoist not married is also not true. Our past is a Zheng Yi. They're married. They're all married. But it's Daoist is more important for Daoism as a scale. They just take the different, research a different skill, how to practice, how to, either they, how to research like the alchemy, how to good for body. Like that. It's just like a job of part, different people interested in different stuff, or kind of like another way for living, another way for life, or what the way they believe, Of course, Daoism, the belief, before we talk about that, the Daoist, we believe, we have five elements control us. We want to jump out of the 5 elements, be a model, This is the BAE model, this is the Daoist belief. Later have another religion as Quanzhen. Quanzhen, of course, they have a lot of different schools. Roman is the biggest school. The Roman school, that idea, Quanzhen idea is, if you practice some skill, if you married, it's a lot of trouble. Because the married always, bring you a lot of energy. You have to do that, lot of stuff. You can't focus to practice. That's why Romans say, okay, if you really want to practice, you have to leave the society out. Just you don't marry, practice, you can focus. If you have the wife, have the lot of some stuff around you, it's difficult to focus. That's a transition idea. Of course, they also bring some like Buddhas. We talking about that. Bring from some philosophy, just like philosophy from Buddha. The Daoists, they have that philosophy, but it's always we talking about adapt. It's very good to take a little bit like that.
Yeah. So we say, obviously, we see that there was some Buddhist influence and the influence of shamans. So I guess my question is, or I should add too that some of the oldest written records of all humankind go back to these we call in the West oracle bones. So they're turtle shells with markings on them, like the hexagrams that are used in the I Ching. Would these also be considered Daoists that made these markings on the turtle shell thousands and thousands of years ago, or would these be kind of like the predecessors, the before Daoists? Because you mentioned that, yeah. What's your opinion?
Absolutely. This is kind of like, if we're talking back, it's the Chinese culture. Also, the culture that we're from. You can say this is no, you can say this not belong to Daoism, but you can say it's an atheist Daoism, because in the past they don't have Daoism, That's why they're putting the stuff kind of like they're not doing the magic, kind of like putting the wood something and just like you say, the shell or the turtle shell or the bone, everything. It's kind of like special words where they want to talk to God. They want to talk to God with special words. Like for me, I say it's from shaman. Of course, it's a culture. It's after it's come back, not like come back. It's kind of with Daoism also, it's not like together. They also influence Daoist, not like influence. How to say? It's hard to say. Have something contact with the Daoism. Contact,
Yeah.
Connection. Have the connection with Daoism. Have the connection. Yeah.
Yeah. So they influence each other.
All from there.
Yeah.
Influence. Yeah. Influence. Of course. Yeah.
Absolutely. That makes, I appreciate that explanation. So, I mean, just to elaborate for readers that may not be, or listeners that may not be familiar, the oracle bones, that, a form of divination, you write some things on the bones, and depending on how they crack, you can kind of get an answer. Is that correct? I don't want to misexplain it. Stop me if I'm wrong.
Hard to say, yeah. Hard to say. So Chinese know it called fa shu and like magic. Okay, the magic fa shu also they do that, kind of like that. Someone sick, they use the bone, write some word, putting somewhere, then like healing people. They also have that. Some Daoism still do that. Either about the feng shui, they use the different stuff. They use a stone that's writing some word, change the word and putting somewhere. It's all like the same.
Okay, absolutely. So you mentioned feng shui. That's another. So let's get into some of the topics that when we talk about this topic, what is Daoism? We talked about some of the jobs as far as being obviously a spiritual person, being involved in advising the emperor. What are some of the, and being a healer, of course, is, as you said, 9 out of 10 Daoists in older times were, some sort of medicine person or some sort of doctor. What are some of the other more common jobs that Daoists have that you've seen?
Daoist job and the past is a little bit different. As most in the past, of course, the Daoist the position very very high. Very very high. Most people very very respect the Daoism what they do. Usually they just they stay on the mountain or stay in the temple or somewhere. Ask Daoism. The most everybody know the Daoism have a magic because if they're sick, if something they always ask the Daoism how to heal it. Also the Daoism everyone know. In Hong Kong a lot of people watch the Hong Kong movie. The ghost. Okay, the Daoist they can catch the ghost. Like that. What other stuff do? Daoist also give you medicine. As a Chinese called xian dan or wan. You use the always look at the Daoism. Oh, you're sick. They give you a special the like medicine. Eating it. Okay, healing them. Like that. Of course, it's a very very famous. What everybody know the Daoist do the fortune telling. The fortune teller is a very very big part. Now people have a problem, go ask the priest, what did I do next year? What happened in my life? Can you give me a direction? This is our priest to do. We're talking about that. It's a priest, they don't have a lot of chicken soup. Give you. Like, oh, how nice, before we talk about that. Like, it's very, very, just, oh, you have the problem. How do you, can healing you? How do you do? It's all together. Of course, someone is have a problem with, the emotion or have a mental something. The Daoist also give the idea how to do, how to healing them. Most type of healing, the Daoist is job. Most is for healing. Of course, not that living in the temple, also they do the chanting. Every morning like chanting to the God. Like God, like save us, like God, help us, or like that. But it's just one part. As in the book, Chinese called Jing Wen, the book, the most is talking about the practice, talking about the knowledge stuff. If you reading the book, you can understand they have philosophy, and they have the skills, all in the book. That's why Daoist chanting, because you always chanting, you will be understand what they're talking about. This is the part. Of course, now in the Daoist temple, other people like different service. Like, okay, tourists come to the temple, I hope you do some, like a work, like a job. Just like, okay, what do you need? Like, just like a service. That's the part. This is the bigger part is, it's a healing part. It's really, this in the past, I know it's all difficult for West people. For Chinese people, everything is a relationship for now. If you have the relationship, very easy go to the temple, be a priest. You can learn there. So in the past, if you want to be a priest, first you have to service the master. You go to the temple, you look at the master, very, very good, like knowledge or something. You want to be a student. You have to service there first. That's why, if you watch the movie, always the big master, they have two Chinese called Jin Tong Yun. It's one girl or one boy. Some is two girls, some two boys. Like setting always help in the service. This is the first to do the student if you want to be a priest. Like you service the master like 3 years. And then they say, oh, it's very, very good. You really want to learn that. Then you can be a priest. The teacher can start to teach you what do you do. What do you want? What do you like that? What do you want to study? Yeah. And of course, if it's really, really like difficult to be a priest because a lot of people thinking so, okay, I have a master and be a priest. No. And I don't say this is a talent, but you need to study a lot. Study a lot is you have to know how to healing, or the fortune telling. Either in the know lot Chinese, you have to know the Da Dao is a big way, big Dao, the human's way, or the world's Dao. Then how to service the world. You have a very good heart, then you can really be a priest, real priest. It's not like a practice, like only like a skill. We're talking about that. It's most about a skill. Of course, you have to good heart to know how to service master, how to service the world. As your Chinese called De, Gong De, or De. Look at you, the basic stuff. You good person, bad person. You always is very, we don't say selfish. You always think about always think about yourself. You not think about other people, not care about other people. Of course, the master not really accept you. It's the past. You have to have a real good heart. Then the master, oh, he's good. Then I can teach you skill. The skill we all know is skill in the practice. Look at the martial arts. You can be just a learner. Practice. How do you get it? The medicine, the healing. You have to practice. Then you can get it. Then you can teach other people. Basically, how to practice. Because a lot of people talking to me, already email, I want to be a Daoist and want to study the course of Daoism. But still, Daoist too big part. What stuff you want to focus first? You can be like, okay, the Daoism, I teach you chanting, teach you medical medicine, Chinese medicine, the herbs, teach you martial arts. No, it's a little bit too much. If you want to be a professional living in the temple, like a university, I always talk about the past, the temple, kind of like a university. They have a lot of different stuff. You can go and learn. But you just say, I want to learn. This is difficult, Of course, I hope for future we can have that, either online class or different class, like UK, someone want to learn, either the herbs, everything. I hope we can have, but it's difficult, Yeah, the way some people practice, I can always say, like Sam, he's acupuncture, like you do the healing stuff. Yes, if you service the world, you can be very good. If you live in the temple, you just putting your head up, you are a priest because you do the good stuff. It's just maybe I learn a little bit of philosophy or the chanting some stuff. You're a real priest. Yeah. The priest say they know everything. They know a lot of stuff. But it's just like maybe a couple stuff very, very good. They can be everything very good. Like some priests are very good about the medicine. Some priests are very good about the internal alchemy. Some priests are very good about the with the martial arts, the Tai Chi, the healing part. You don't know. It's just like a different skill. Some priests are very good about the chanting. Chanting also a lot of sound also can be a healing. Also can heal people. Like a healer. It's a lot of different.
I really like that you brought up that the temples in olden days were kind of like universities, because that's one thing I always wondered in talking to you and hearing about all these Daoists that have all these different skills. It's kind of like these this collection of really interesting people, but it's at first as an outsider, you look at it, or I look at it, and I'm like, oh, well, what do they all have in common? But I think what you're saying is that it's understanding the philosophy behind Daoism and actually putting it into practice in your skill. That is what kind of makes it a Daoist art, as opposed to just an art or something like that. It's understanding how these things relate. Is that correct?
Whatever we live, or you learn some skill, martial arts, or you practice medical, you on the highest, you have to learn philosophy, because philosophy can adapt your soul. If you soul very higher, your skill will be higher. The martial arts is the same. If you not have philosophy support that part, you are martial arts. Maybe just okay, you're very good at maybe just we not say a killer, you're just very good about that. Okay. But the soul, if you soul, the inside can adapt, learn the philosophy, everything be adapt. If you not adapt to that, what's the adapt? If you have adapt, take the philosophy part, if you adapt your skill, you can be another master, another school, That's why they have a lot of different school, different master, Of course, the master not just like martial arts master. Maybe in school also called the master. But in the past, we can all have a lot of different kind of master. A lot of different kind of master, like a medical master, the martial arts master, either all the skill. If you're very, very good, we all call master.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that makes a lot of sense. I know for me as an acupuncturist who also practices martial arts and meditation, I think I realize that my martial arts practice is going in the wrong direction if it adversely affects my meditation. So I think if my martial art practice is good, it makes my meditation practice, the Neidan practice, better. And then it makes my acupuncture better. Whereas, if I practice and like try to hurt somebody, then, it makes those other two things worse. So it's in some ways having that kind of collection of different arts. Some emphasize some parts of the way more than others. And I think it can kind of help you balance out, help you to understand, have a system of checks and balances so you know when you're going wrong. That's been my experience.
Yes, always help each other. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's probably about it's plenty of time on an episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap that one up for the day. So thank you, Master Zhou. Thank you for being with us and explaining. And
okay, thank you.
That's another show on Dao Talks, and we are going to post this one. If you like our channel, if you want to watch more of our videos, please hit subscribe, hit the button, hit the bell, hit the thumbs up, and hope to see you soon again back here at Dao Talks. Signing off.
Yeah. Also, I think I can add a little bit. So maybe in the future we can interview a lot of different people. We can together talk about that. Different master, different maybe like a professor like that. So together talking about the Daoism, all the different stuff. I hope everyone can share that.